Here. What's up, chat? Happy. I'm gonna go with Tuesday, November 23rd, 2021. I'm Gun, twitter.com/Gundacker. Joined today by Hoodie Raj. Is that an Alpha Elite hoodie?
Talk about it, Alpha Elite. Yes, sir. Shout out Christian Guma. Shout out Alpha Elite. Trying to get that sponsor from them.
I'm gonna be real. Never heard of them, but
basically, it's like a YouTube fitness guy that started his own clothing brand, and now it's worth like $800 million. I think it blew up.
I'm in the wrong business.
Right? It just blew up. I'm like,
hey, god dang business.
Yeah. That clothing business is another level of dude just spent $20 million building an elite kind of fitness center with like 3 gyms, a basketball court, this and that, because he can, I guess.
I would like that.
Right? But for DFS? A DFS center?
Just no, I don't know about DFS. I mean, back in the day, the poker house was all the way.
True.
And then if you think about it in retrospect, it's kind of a weird concept. But I guess now we have gaming houses. But no, like you just your own basketball court, swimming pool, all that good stuff.
No doubt, yeah.
Just vibing out, 3 a.m., breaking Casper's ankles out there. Thinking you all about that life. What's up, chat? Happy Tuesday. It's Thanksgiving week down here in the America.
Shout out good old turkey, greater than ham.
Good old turkey. No, we're not having this debate because it's not even a debate. Ham is so much better. Turkey is one of the most trashiest concoctions of meat to ever put together. You eat turkey once a year. Like that's how bad it is.
I can eat turkey slices on the regular, weekly on a sandwich, little turkey sandwich, all day, every day.
Can't do it. Literally,
good lean protein.
Cannot even. No. No.
Ham might as well be.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be repping ham like that, but I also just don't be making baked ham.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's up, chat? What up, Tall? What up, Giuliano? What up, Paul? Quinn in the chat. Tyler Barb, Lincoln Hawk, Dang Lazy Mofo out here. Josh Shannon, Josh. Raj, Josh was at the Raptors and Warriors game on Sunday.
Wasn't pretty. Was not pretty.
He tried to tell you. Tell you, man. Was that the song I had the whole time? I use a couple. Clark's is like the best royalty-free music guy. He has 2 bangers that you guys probably recognize. It's that one. Actually, there's 3 that I've used. It's that one and a couple other ones. What up? Quinn says Taco Tuesday on PrizePicks for Mello. Let's go. Okay, we might have to pull that up. If you guys are not familiar with the new Taco Tuesday promotion on PrizePicks, basically they put obscene discounts on a certain player for X amount of time. I think it's an hour or so. And then you can add those. It's basically, free squares. Like the free square that's coming on Thursday. I can't tell you, but it's
Taco Tuesday special. What's your favorite kind of taco? There's only one answer. It's called fish tacos. Fried fish tacos? Oh my God. Tastes amazing.
Is that a Sri Lankan Indian?
No, that's common. Go to any Mexican taco place. What do you call the fried fish in Mexico? Hold on. I'll bring it up. There's a name for it.
I had fajitas, or I had regular tacos last night, but I do fajitas. I don't like crunchy tacos. It's just not me.
I like the sauce. I don't like corn tortillas. I like the flour
tortillas for life. All right, finally the one good thing you've said.
There it is. There we go.
Relentless Jaw. What up? E made it happen. Mundo's World. Relentless says Thibault over Niang would have made me cash more than I did. Forget to switch him in one lineup, cash the rest though. Dang, man. What up, William Lewis? What up, JNY DFS? Chicken's better than both.
Yeah, chicken is better than both.
Chicken's a daily thing. So
chicken is so versatile. You can make so many flavors with chicken and it works. Yeah, and Baja fish tacos, best tacos ever.
Baja.
Baja, yeah, my bad. Baja fish.
Get the freak out of here. Giuliano says Gun 333 points, one lineup last night, 100K. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Turkey is brutal. Like, unless, and there's always like that proud redneck that's like, not my turkey. No, I cook it in peanut oil. It's juicy. It's succulent. And
Turkey can be
it's
dry. I guess
just
it's not like
yeah. No,
it's
you
not
gotta
done
like
right.
pepper that thing with gravy just to let it slide down your friggin' esophagus. Stop trying to make this a thing.
No, you know what? Okay, you know what it is. Maybe like okay. What about like daily turkey slices versus ham slices? Turkey slices better. Like if we just went to the butcher shop, get slices of turkey versus slices of ham.
Ham just tastes better. Like, it just tastes better. I know turkey's more healthy, but who
Yeah.
gives a about all that?
Games.
G Yali, what's up, G Yali? WS in the chat. We do turkey, ham, Brussels, Jesus, Brussels sprouts, green beans, mac and cheese, mashed and gravy, candy yams with the marshmallow stuffing, cheesecake pies. Let's go. I'm with it. I feel like Thanksgiving dinner is like my least favorite holiday. I feel like Thanksgiving. I don't know. But I don't know. I don't do turkey, so I'll get down with the ham. But like all those side dishes, that don't really get me like that. So I don't know. I do like the family camaraderie, the football on TV. Like I love that aspect. So it is what it is. But my dinners are usually way more contrarian than the typical like
Yeah.
stuffing. I could do without that. What is that crap that people? Is it yam? Not yam. Is it yams? Like the
Yams, like
cranberry, like the
also, I'm not a big cranberry guy. The cranberry
yeah.
sauce. I'm not with the cranberry like
I
that.
don't do it.
Only thing cranberry is good for is a little cranberry and vodka. Other than that, cranberries are terrible. I'm a big pie, like pumpkin pie, sweet potato pie, apple pie. I'm a big pie guy. All the pies.
I like peach cobbler. I tried to get a peach cobbler the other day. They brought me peach pie, and it's not the same. What up, Nate Wagner? Justin Jennings in the chat. Pocket quarterback Lamar Jackson. Clippers didn't have a shoot around. They evacuated for COVID protocols. I guess we'll be watching that. Hater Ronzo in the chat. What up, Crispy? Making turkey and ham tomorrow. Ain't even gonna sweat it. Let's go. Ham is definitely better. Made carnitas for dinner yesterday, and you guys talking tacos today? Yep, had beef tacos yesterday. They were really good. Some lettuce in there, some rotella, cheese, sour cream, bro. The only thing that was messed up is our Instacart lady got us the wrong size tortillas. Cajun turkey. All right, Cajun smacks different. That's like a whole different.
Yeah, I love Cajun turkey and Cajun chicken. Go to the butcher and get that. No, those are fire.
What's up, Brooklyn Silver? Peace Gun got second in the 20 max 4-point play, 35 in 365. Let's go, baby.
I need some of that.
That's what you like
right
to
there.
see. Yes, I do. Yes, so yesterday I thought it was gonna be a disaster, but I should have known better because I loaded up on Sixers and it was the last game on the slate, and you were just going to be sitting around for a while, and I didn't realize how much of the Sixers I had until they got there late. So I loaded up on Maxey, Drummond, and then in the middle of the slate we got news that Seth Curry was out, so I snuck in some Shake Milton. So it was what it was. I had a bunch of other guys that let us down. We'll talk about some of the scores from last night. So first of all, your beast of the night when it comes to raw points, LaMelo Ball, 62.75 DKP. He played 38 minutes, 28 real points, 13 rebounds, 7 assists, 3 steals, and a block. Number 2, the boy, the homie, DeJounte Murray. Triple-double threat, baby, every time. And what does he do? Goes out there, gets a triple-double in that. I don't, was it? No, it was me and Shady yesterday. We talked about how Phoenix still has this aura on them about you just want to pick on Phoenix. But they're still running a top pace in basketball, and that had a number 2 total on the slate. So I was like, you know what, I should be more into this game. And
we gotta kind of analyze Phoenix in terms of.
They're still a top defensive efficiency. Don't get me wrong, but they're running such a fast pace that it's creating teams that do stick around are gonna have to do more. And a guy like DeJounte Murray that does stuff the stat sheet gets there in 37 minutes. So I was lucky to have some of him. But then the rest of the slate kind of like not that crazy for a big slate, right? KD was number 3 in scoring, 53 fantasy points. Ja Morant, Rudy Gobert, 50. Andre the Giant Drummond against Sacramento without Tobias Harris, without Seth Curry. One of those plays that I understood why the field was so skittish, but it just made too much sense. So I ended up with 40%, 45%. I started with 30%, late swapped into 45 once the Curry news dropped, and that was good. And then Darius Garland did his thing. Which I think, who was the real a-holes? Because I did have some a-holes. No, no, yeah, you know who really got me? It was those doggone Chicago Bulls, dag nabbit. They got smacked, and I had a heaping of DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine on Fanduel. Not what you want for 8-9K. So that was really my anchors yesterday. And remember, DeMar DeRozan fat. Yeah. Is the past tense of fat? That's ironic if you think about it.
Facts.
If I was fit back in the day, was I fat? Oh my god! I gotta go. What the freak?
Bro, what is going on?
I mean, that is
back in the day. Were you fat?
Yeah.
I guess it depends on everyone's definition of fat.
Yeah, I don't know. What's up, Mike Yoakum? Josh Gilham says, "Nah, yams are like the sweet potato." No, yeah, the sweet potato version, but I think it's the cranberry. It's like cranberry Jello that people. That stuff's disgusting to me. What up, winning? Just turkey wings, mac and cheese, green. Let's go. Okay, y'all about to make me hungry. Hold up. What the f is pumpkin pie?
You know pumpkin pie? I mean, it's amazing pie. Use pumpkin.
Pumpkin pie is what I. Like you take a bite, you're like, oh, that's good, and then you make a bigger slice than you should ever get. And you can't finish it, and it's just like, one of those. What up, Roscoe? Drummond came through. Yes, he did. Nate Wagner making bacon wrap pork chops for my dad tonight. The man's 53. Yo, happy birthday, Mr. Wagner, 53. Let's go. We should all be so lucky to get bacon wrap pork chops. What am I missing? Nason Ottersbach? Yo, chat is pumping today. Let's go, baby. Had to have lemonade. Jarrett and Drummond. Yeah, Jared Allen being power forward eligible on FanDuel was a nice. Oh yeah, Jalen Suggs. Oh my God,
Jalen Suggs and Jalen Green both.
And then of course RJ Hampton gets all of the garbage time, right? Now Gun's gonna release a Fitbit. It's a fat bot. I don't know what's going on.
Jeez.
What is happening?
Desmond Bain had a big game. I mean, I don't even know how people got to him in 20 lineups.
Desmond Bain?
No. Yeah, against Utah?
Well, I didn't. So I didn't have him. I'm not gonna pretend like I had him. I had Derek White, but with no Dylan Brooks and D'Anthony Melton, it's not an insane.
I guess.
Yeah. Anyway, what's up, chat? This stream, as always, brought to you by RunDFS.com. If you guys want to unlock my spreadsheet, my player pool, all that good stuff, you can do so with a membership at RunDFS.com. That's the place where we don't just play DFS, we run DFS. And every membership, extra utility, get you a voucher towards a Fantasy Cruncher membership. You unlock my spreadsheets, and you get into that RunDFS.com VIP Discord. And every day before lock, we have a pre-lock voice chat. And in that voice chat, we like to have fun here. We talk some plays. Today's going to be a little bit more laid back. Cadillac Jack, just 4 games on the docket. Tomorrow is the big one. So be sure to make a note. Tomorrow's stream time is going to be back at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central. And then in the morning, I'll have a Slate Starter podcast with your old pal Emac on the Osmo channel. That should be ready tonight. So look out for that. Tomorrow's going to be a big one. And then we take a day of rest for turkey for some of you, for ham for the better ones of us, and then Baja fish tacos for those of you in Canada that don't celebrate at the same time.
We already had our Thanksgiving, yeah. Hey, football. It's a day of football DFS, right? Got to chase the millionaire over there.
Yeah, there's a lot of football. That's the one thing I do like about Thanksgiving. It's usually 3 teams I could care less about, or 6 teams I care less about. Today, I think I read that all 6 teams playing this Thursday lost this week.
Yeah, so, I want to say NFL got to do a better job getting like maybe good quality games on the Thursday. Like, I feel like year after year it's just.
I don't know what good quality in the NFL is these days. I honestly don't know if I can name 4 good teams. I think there's
a lot of parity this year, which I do. There's not one dominant standout team, so I guess that's a good thing, right?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. Like their teams, I don't know. Jay Smooth, what up, Jay Smooth? GS Luke. So what's going on, Gun? What's up, Luke? By the way, Luke, I saw you had some Thursday football content. So chat, if you see Luke's name, click it. Go check out his channel. Puts in a lot of production into that stuff, and that's something you gotta appreciate as a content creator. Question: if you get a second, what's the most salary you're okay with leaving on the table with late swaps? Last night I had lines with 1.5K on the table and was questioning it. So,
That's a lot.
it is, but it's also like it's not something I really think about. If I'm late swapping, it's because I've uploaded updated projections into Cruncher based on news. Like yesterday, Seth Curry being out. Sometimes you get some big boys out, extra usage comes up, and at that point, I'm late swapping via the projections. Maybe if your randomness is too high or whatever, maybe it'll leave some salary on the table. But I really don't pay attention to it. Like I late swapped it and I look at my percentage of players and then I upload it. So I think it's a great question if you were like, I don't know, managing one lineup and doing it by hand, and if you're building lineups based on a value scale where you need blank X for blank X salary, then it wouldn't make sense to leave too much salary, because there's usually always going to be one guy that projects for the same amount of raw points or a higher floor. But I really don't pay attention to the salary left on the table when I'm using the late swap optimizer. So late swap optimizer is a tool on Fancy Cruncher. A lot of optimizers have it, where once I get news that somebody's out, I upload my live CSV into the thing. I upload new projections, late swap the lineups, and we fire it back at the site. So it's going to be projection oriented and prioritize those first and foremost. I think that's an incredible question, but it's definitely not a rule of thumb that I would do. And every slate or everything is slate contingent. So I remember a couple years back, it was on Christmas before Fanduel actually had late swap. They had a Christmas slate where for that day only they allowed late swap. And Brandon Ingram was with the Lakers and he was like questionable all day. And I took a YOLO stance on him playing, and he ended up being rolled out. And I had to I think it was Corey Brewer was like the only guy I could swap to. And long story short, I actually ended up winning the tournament that day. It wasn't an Ingram lineup, but I got stuck with all those and I ended up profiting pretty well there. So not a huge rule of thumb here. What is eight? Dean says Raj LMAO. Is it the hoodie? I don't know. What up, Sen? Kenny Graham, new here. What's good? What's up, Kenny? Appreciate you stopping by. Earth to Air. Thanksgiving slates have been on par with games they send to London. A lot of the primetime slates have been as well. Yang, Milton, and Maxey were projecting high enough to squeeze out some of the Kings guys. Ended up being suboptimal when I look back at my lines up before. Yeah, I mean it's all in the projection, right? Like if a guy's projected to outscore, like if an 8K guy is projected to outscore a 9K guy, I gotta play the 8K guy. Like I'm trying to get more fantasy points at that point than spend salary, you know? All right, let's talk about tonight's slate. Just 4 games. Should be relatively easy. I did not open up the Underdog NBA Twitter, so let's do that. Let's get caught up on some news to watch. I think it's like Luka, AD, stuff like that. And I believe it's every team in the league playing tomorrow, so we'll be keeping that in mind. I think it's every team. I know it's a lot of teams tomorrow. It's the day before Thanksgiving, and they don't play on Thanksgiving, so we usually see a big Wednesday slate and a big Friday slate. Getting caught up on Underdog NBA news. Looking at stuff to watch as of 3 p.m. Eastern. Anthony Davis, questionable. Luka Doncic, questionable, but he did go through shoot around. Jokic, questionable. Adebayo, questionable. Duncan Robinson, questionable. PJ Tucker, questionable. Derrick Rose, questionable. Let's get any other updates. Nothing. Couple rollouts for Wednesday, and that's it. So chat, you know the drill. If something happens while we're live, spam the chat. Let me know, and we will react accordingly. Game number 1 tonight. The Miami Heat at the Detroit Pistons. Project starting 5 for the Heat. Kyle Lowry, Duncan Robinson, Jimmy G. Buckets, PJ Tucker, and Bam Adebayo taking on Corey Joseph, Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and Trey Lyles. We got a 207.5 total, 8.5 point spread in favor of the visiting Miami Heat. So knowing that we do have some Q tags to watch out for, notably Bam Adebayo, be cognitive of that. And then, of course, the Detroit Pistons will be without their point guard, Killian Hayes. And without Isaiah Stewart, got himself a couple game suspension. Messing with the king, Raj.
I mean, hey, he's a brave soul. He's definitely a brave soul.
So a lopsided spread here. If Adebayo was out, obviously we would key in on Jimmy Butler because that's just what we do. It is a shorter slate. Yesterday, I was really hyper-focused on ceiling. 10-game slates, that's what you're going to need to win a slate. On a 4-game slate, especially one wonky like this, a couple slow games, a couple lopsided spreads and whatnot, I'll weight floor a little bit higher or median projection a little bit higher than ceiling. So a lot of times I'll settle for less. So Jimmy Butler, even though he's 9.7K, would be somebody I could lean on for 40, 50 fantasy points if Adebayo was out. If Adebayo was in, I think 8K, 8,500 is fine against this Pistons team. And then with the Pistons team being what they are right now, no Stewart, no Killian Hayes, Cade Cunningham has been the guy leading everything in usage. But at 7.5K, 7.4K, it's an interesting prove-it matchup, right? You're going to go against some decent defense in the Miami Heat. And then at this price point, the last couple games, he's been garnering some ownerships. I've said it time and time again. I think he's an 8.5K player, and we'll see that by the All-Star break, if not sooner, because he's going to hold this usage. He is a number one pick. But is this one of those maybe we stand back matchups or a 4-game slate? Let's just target minutes and volume and usage. Do you have a high level of confidence in Cade Cunningham today, or are you thinking you go elsewhere?
With this matchup against Miami, with the price tag that it is what it is, I'm probably going elsewhere. I'm not really that big into Cade Cunningham. Other spots here, it's just that price tag. He almost needs a 40 plus for sure. So it's definitely not a confident play. I think Detroit, it's just a value, guys. If Bam sits, I love a guy like Trey Lyles or Garza, depending on who starts. I think they will split minutes a little bit, but whoever
if who sits?
No, I said no. If Bam Adebayo,
oh okay, yeah.
So if he sits, I'd really like Trey Lyles and Garza. If Bam plays, I mean, it's the number one DVP. Like, it's the worst matchup for a guy like Garza and Lyles. So I might fade that shot, but if Bam sits, I'll take the 3K chop between Garza and Lyles. But I mean, other than that, I mean, Jeremy Grant, I think, is intriguing. I think he actually might play some center if they don't trust, Garza or Lyles, and maybe they go small with Miami down Bam, with no Bam, and no Marcus Moore, and no PJ Tucker for them if he's out too. Mm-hmm. So I can see Jeremy Grant being in play if that news hits. But other than that, I'm Miami. I'm not kind of running to play any of these other guys. It's still Miami, a good defensive team. Miami, though, again, it comes down to that Bam news, which is big. Bam says I just lock and load Jimmy Butler, 9,700 against the Detroit Pistons teams. Should be good for a 50 bomb here. I think it's really safe. Tyler Hero at 7,300. I think he's still priced up like Jimmy is out and Bam is out. So at 7,300, I think it's tough for him to get a ceiling with Jimmy playing. So from the Heat, it would just be Jimmy Butler, who I'm really confident in. And then if you want to play a guy like Dedmon, sure. But again, with the other value that'd be available, I don't know how much I'd get of him.
Yeah, so without Killian Hayes, Corey Joseph and Frank Jackson are two ball handlers that have kind of picked up some of the slack in minutes. And Kojo historically is definitely a slow boogie type of guy. And I think, this is one of those spots where I said I'll give a little bit more credence to the floor than the ceiling. So Kojo's still a little bit too cheap for the minutes that he can offer. 39 minutes against the Lakers, 30 minutes against Golden State, 31. That's just like a really low price tag for that many minutes. Minutes equal money. And if you're going to get exposure to that, even in a tougher matchup, I'm kind of in on it, but understand that his style of basketball is largely peripheral dependent. So going against a tight team like the Heat, who are pretty efficient offensively, slow in pace. This is a little bit different spot than a fast-paced Lakers team that's really bad on defense, and the Warriors are a really tight team. Like maybe the Warriors game is a little bit more of a proper comparison to what the Heat might offer up: a solid defense, a good offense, and he just put up 20. So depending on what his ownership projects, 3,900 for Corey Joseph may not be as great of a deal as it looks like on paper. And we've played with Corey Joseph for years. We know Toronto, San Antonio. We've seen him play 30 minutes, break a slate. We've seen him play 30 minutes and go full on Tony Snell, get your cardio.
There's no way I'm touching a popular Corey Joseph. There's zero chance.
He was popular against the Lakers, but it was the right spot. I don't know if this is going to be the right spot. And then behind him, Frank Jackson, also kind of the same-ish explanation there. And then
he did the Lakers, though. He didn't smash. I mean, like 23, it's whatever.
Right. No, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Like on a 4-game slate, though, will we take that 20, 25 from a 3,900?
I guess, yeah. In a 4-game slate, I guess you could survive with that a little more often than an 8-gamer.
All right, and then if the Pistons are going to keep this game competitive, first of all, keep in mind the Pistons suck. 101.4 points per 100 possessions, 98.3 is their pace here. If they keep it close, it's usually on the back of 3 guys: Cade Cunningham, Sadiq Bey, Jeremy Grant, and usually 2 of those 3, not all of those 3. And that's something I usually reflect in my groupings. You have a strong lean here. I'm thinking Jeremy Grant might be the one I'm likely to land on more, just for a little bit more peripherals. But where are you at on Pistons exposure, do you think? Just looking ahead here, the Knicks are always unpredictable with their wings. I do think if AD went down, we'd all just jam in Taylor Horton Tucker and Russell Westbrook, obviously. And then looking past that, there's not a strong wing option. Maybe if Jokic is down, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon again, and then Mavs versus Clippers, Paul George, right? Like it's small forward and power forward might be the toughest, trickiest pathway to walk today. So where do the Pistons' big 3 land for you?
I mean, their big 3 would be Cunningham, Grant, and Sadiq Bey.
Mm-hmm. Rank them in terms of be matchup oriented.
Jeremy Grant 1, just because I think he's the most talented out of these guys. Cade Cunningham 2, Sadiq Bey 3. I tell you the truth, I'd probably we'll talk about next game, RJ Barrett over those 3 guys. And you already mentioned Taylor Horton Tucker if AD is out. But yeah, again, it's just the prices. Like Cade at 74, not doing it. The only guy I'd really take a shot on is Grant, just because his usage would be through the roof. You could chuck as many shots as you want. I'll take all the Grant in that spot. Even then, I'm not in love with the play. If I fall into him, sure, but he's not going to be a tier 1 or anything. So the choice, other than the value guys of Trey Lyles and Garza, I could be okay fading these other guys in 5, 10. 20. I mean, 20 line probably don't fade them, but be very minimal on these guys in terms of ownership. Just stick to the Miami pieces like a Jimmy Butler. And it's not true in this game. I think it's only Jimmy Butler, Lyles, and Garza that I really like.
If Adebayo plays, and I think there's a good chance, I think it's 50-50 because we've seen him play with Q tags before. AK on Fanduel, 8,500 on DK. Fanduel is still power forward eligible. 40 plus, I would take 40 on the nose, to be honest, on this slate. And that's what my soft projections put him at on DK, and then 44 on FanDuel. I would play him. I think even if you're hesitant now to know whether or not he's in or out, we're gonna have that information first game at lock. Adebayo would be a strong center option, right? I talk about how weak wings are, but if you lose Jokic, what does this slate give you at center? Nothing, right? You're punting Garza maybe, and if you lose AD, those guys are center eligible, but you can also get them at the forward spot. So yeah, Adebayo, I think don't forget he exists, and then if Adebayo's down, it gets really weird. Dwayne Dedmon would probably open up Trey Lyles, Luka Garza. I mean, we're playing some names down there.
I would say if Adebayo plays, I'd gladly just fade the entire Pistons team, especially with the chalk that Lyles and Garza will own. If I can fade,
I haven't put my ear to the ground on ownership projections yet, but
I'll tell you right now, Garza and Lyles will probably both be approaching 40%, if not 50, probably 50 plus.
It's a lot easier for a min price center to get there, even in a bad matchup, right? You're gonna
Sure.
catch some
I mean, I,
balls.
I think he'll get like 21, 22. But if I can fade it at that ownership on a 4 game, it's just like a leverage play in large field tournaments. I'll fade that gladly.
I'd have to see the lineups before I start pushing back. Obviously, I would drive a wedge between maybe overlap, but I do think it's a little bit more subjective based on the slate and based on the position. The position is going to get peripherals no matter what, as long as it's out, stay out of foul trouble. So
Yeah.
I'm here. I'm here on that. ABG says, I don't think the Pistons keep it close, but if they do, Cade will be a must-have. Quinn says, I'm not sure if Corey Joseph will put up a score that you'll need to win a tournament. Nakrizi says, Chalk Kojo's never fun if this game blows out. Frank Jackson is just the most potential, likely more to him. Yeah, could Frank Jackson give us the RJ Hampton level of get-there-ness? Probably. Him and Josh Jackson's interesting as well. Anthony Lane came here for the tacos. Let's go. Let's move on to the next game. New York Knicks hosting the Los Angeles Lakers. Russell Westbrook in the Garden. I'm coming home. Carmelo Anthony in the Garden. Your project starting 5 as of now. Russell Westbrook, Avery Bradley, Taylor Horton, Tucker, Anthony Davis, DeAndre Jordan taking on Kemba Walker, Evan Fournier, RJ Barrett, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel, 213.5 total, 6.5 point spread. Favored the home team Knicks. Raj, how about that? The Knicks, sizable home favorites against the Lakers.
It's just haven't looked good even with LeBron this year. I mean,
it's tough.
They're gonna have to. I'm telling you, they're gonna shake something up in the trade deadline. Like if this doesn't get better, I think a big piece gets moved.
Remember that day, like the Cavs traded the whole team?
Yeah.
At the All-Star break, at the trade deadline.
They got Rodney Hood, George. Yeah, they got a couple pieces.
Isaiah Thomas is like, get them all out of here.
I would say the greatest. That was the greatest LeBron and greatest basketball player ever that year. Taking all those guys to the finals, carrying them.
So the notable news from this game is that Anthony Davis is questionable. LeBron James serving a suspension, even though he's got an ab issue. But AD's dealing with flu-like symptoms. He's been listed as questionable. He's been a regular on the injury report this season. He has frequently played through all illness and injury, so we assume this continues Tuesday night. If his case of the flu is severe enough to keep him out of the lineup, expect Carmelo, DeAndre Jordan, Dwight Howard to all log extended minutes. And then it was not that long ago against the Portland Trail Blazers where AD played with a stomach bug, went 8 minutes, checked out, and said, I'm done. So you're dealing with that. Just with that in mind, that makes me feel really, really, really skittish. And I don't even know how in today's climate somebody can openly have the flu and still play basketball. Especially, a lot of these guys finna go eat with their family. So that's crazy to me. But if AD doesn't play, Carmelo Anthony, Taylor Horton Tucker, Russell Westbrook. I mean, this becomes a stackable venture Lakers team. Then the Knicks. This is a unstoppable force, movable object type of matchup where we take two teams on the opposite end of the pace spectrum. The Lakers being number 2, the Knicks being bottom 8. So we kind of meet in the middle here with more implied possessions for the Knicks here, and then a much more generous defensive matchup for the Knicks. Lakers have been giving up everywhere. One of the positions that has been really successful against the Lakers has been the point guard position, and one of the positions that is the most unpredictable for the Lakers for the Knicks has been the point guard position. Kemba Walker, Derrick Rose, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickley, like who's getting the most run as the primary ball handler. So you got to deal with that. This slate seems really, really tricky from the word go. But leaning on the Lakers side here, let's just assume that maybe AD is in. Would you play AD and Westbrook and maybe sprinkle in some Tucker? And if AD is out, how many Lakers in one lineup on a 4-game slate is too many? Because I think you can make the case for extended minutes on Jordan and Howard versus the big front court of the Knicks. Even though Mitchell Robinson's down, Julius Randle, Nerlens Noel down there, so you probably want a little bit of size. And DJ and Dwight Howard, while you guys can meditate on Luka Garza, Trey Lyles, man, Dwight Howard's been a per-minute monster for fantasy. And then Carmelo Anthony, a little bit extra pizzazz being back in Madison Square Garden. 5,400, looking for 30 plus fantasy points there, but 25, I'd take it on a 4-game slate. Would you get to 4 Lakers in a lineup if AD was out right now?
for Lakers seems aggressive. I think Taylor and Tucker, regardless of any situation, will be one of my highest owned guys. With no LeBron, it's just a guy I'm gonna attack here. I think he takes more shots than Westbrook whenever LeBron was out, so he's gonna have the usage there. He gets you all the peripherals. He's a hustle guy, going to get you the rebounds, a couple of assists, steals, blocks, 5,900, plenty of room there. So Taylor and Tucker, regardless, going to be one of the highest owned guys on the slate for me. Obviously, with no AD, Russell Westbrook probably comes in an elite premier play. Carmelo Anthony too. I think I'd probably stop at 3. I think 4 is a little much. But if you want to do, Anthony, Westbrook, Tucker, and then throw in a Dwight Howard as a pivot from those pivot from the Detroit guys with New York playing pretty big, I don't mind that. I could see a bump up for minutes for either Howard or Jordan here, getting 20, maybe 22 minutes for one of those guys. The Knicks I actually really love. I mean, Lakers are essentially like the Charlotte Hornets. You target them every single time. People just go off. I actually love Kemba Walker with Derrick Rose questionable. If Derrick Rose sits, Kemba Walker at 4,800, I think could break the slate very easily. The minutes past couple games, 20, 21, 21, 18. I mean, he ever gets 30 minutes, he's going to smash against the Lakers at this price. And again, maybe it's the Lakers play up a little bit with no Derrick Rose. I think, Thibodeau's going to trust him. So with no Derrick Rose, I would give Kemba Walker closer to 30 minutes than 20. So I'd really like that. And RJ Barrett, I think at his price at 5,600 against the Lakers, you just want to target. He's going to play 30, 35 minutes in this one. This game should stay relatively close for 4 quarters. At 5,600, I think he has upside to break the slate to 35 to 40 DKP. I like that all day, every day. Julius Randle, he's the guy who's going to get the most consistent minutes on the team. I think he'll play 3 Knicks. Forget 3 Lakers. 3 Knicks, Randle, Barrett, and Kemba. I think could all have ceiling games here against the Lakers. I'm going to bring it back with 3 Lakers. I like that too.
Yeah, I was kind of on that same boat with the Pistons on Sunday, so I don't disagree with that sentiment. If Derrick Rose ended up not playing, that'd be something to watch. He had a sore right ankle after 30 minutes against the Bulls. And then we mentioned Taj Gibson's actually doubtful, so correction on the questionable tag. So this front court for the Knicks could just be Randle and Nerlens Noel, and Noel could log extended minutes if he stays out of foul trouble or stays out of the locker room with an injury. He's always going to injury, but I swear it's a face or an eyeball every time for the last couple of years. So yeah, a lot of potential value here to pick up, and the Knicks will probably want to get that W here in the Garden against the Lakers. Just a high emotion atmosphere. I'm sure the Garden's going to be just so loud tonight. So I'm with you on there. The Kemba play, it feels like the right play. You're not going to feel warm and fuzzy about it, but it's there. And I'll also note that the Julius Randle price point on FanDuel feels way more inviting and welcoming than the DraftKings counterpart. He's 8,400 on FanDuel. 10K.
That's a free square FanDuel. I wouldn't even look at FanDuel today. That's a free square.
10K on DraftKings. So yeah, I'm with you on the Knicks here. Let's just throw this out there, chat, play along. If you knew right now, AD does have a stomach bug, is in. He's starting. He's active. What do you do? Do you get 20%? Do you full fade it? Do you maybe play the range of outcomes that he starts and gets 8 minutes again and doesn't play? Like, where would you be at on Anthony Davis, knowing that they'll need some size, knowing that LeBron is out? Where would your level of interest in AD being in be? He just had a massive game against the Pistons, coming off a 30-plus real point game the game prior to that. So he's playing at a good level. But the 2 games, there's 2 games before that, the Pistons game that I played him, it was the 8-minute flu bug Portland Trailblazers game, and then it was the get ejected while trying to tie your shoe and yelling at the ref for not stopping the play.
Tell you what, talk about AD. I don't know if I'll get to a lot of him here, even if he plays. I think I probably like. Do I like Paul George more than AD against Dallas? Maybe. AD obviously is gonna, Houston will be there. It's the Knicks, but there's just other guys. I mean, if Bam is out, I'd like Jimmy more than AD.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely like Paul George more than AD. I'm thinking Luka more than AD if he play. Luka versus Clippers. Porzingis is still playing well. I don't think AD is a snap call. Again, I love Taylor Horton Tucker there. But other than that, I think AD is just more kind of a tier 2. Like, I'd have him, but he wouldn't be like a core lock for me if he plays.
See what Chad is thinking. Quinn says AD and Westbrook are active, and THT is one of the higher projected on plays. I'll take a stand against it and go into the field. I think that's fine, Quinn. And for the rest of the chat, that like stuff like that, you'll never find me like dogging you. Like I'm always an advocate of finding some leverage in the ownership, and finding somebody. Like on Monday night, I was explaining it to Danielle. She was doing some showdown lineups, and I was like, Ben Roethlisberger has this ownership projection. He kind of sucks. You could just avoid that completely, and she did it. I don't feel the same way about Horton Tucker. The one of the weird things about the Knicks is they run so slow, but they still average amongst the highest 3-pointers made per game. I could see Horton Tucker maybe having to fire back if that got a little out of control. Same with Carmelo. Carmelo's been shooting incredibly efficient from beyond the three. Alex says scientifically proven, if you hit that like button, you'll at least min cash. I mean, that's science, so I mean, do you hate science? Why do you hate science? Hit that thumbs up. You out there lurking, man. I appreciate the lurk. And then hit that red subscribe button. If that's lit up, click on that too. Trying to get to 6K subs in 6-7 weeks. I don't think it's going to happen, but I'm not going to not try. So support the show. What up, J. Cole? J. Cole. Jermaine. Go. Robert Bostic says Noel's at center tonight with all of the injuries. Yeah, a lot of opportunity for him minute-wise should things go his way. And then I see a couple of you guys are on the carousel of Knicks potential guards if Derrick Rose is out. I think that's fair. Maybe that's where we make some really stringent rules and groupings on Fantasy Cruncher between Kemba Walker, Alec Burks, Emmanuel Quickley. Like maybe we don't overlap the two and we try to hit gold on the one that lands correctly because there's obviously some volatility there. And then if Derrick Rose plays, good luck. I don't know what to do. I posed the question, what would you guys do if AD was in? And I'm getting some weird percentages. Josh Gilham says 50%. Kenny Graham says 100% AD. Kickstart DFS says if it wasn't a 4-gamer, I'd completely fade. If AD sits, then a Howard is going to play. Yeah. Howard is definitely... Howard is definitely like a point per minute beast. So yeah, if something funky happened with AD, I'd be on that for sure. Elite Minds Hip Hop. Anthony Davis downgraded, like since we've been on the air, or you just mean like in general he was downgraded?
Yeah, the midday questionable. Yeah.
Did that just happen like in the last couple of minutes? Because we already had him as questionable, right? There's nothing. Maybe he's just trying to make sure we knew that. We know that. I appreciate that. 50 likes and gun chugs 2 bangs. No, I already finished 1 bang. I think a second would probably... Bro, look at... Guys, I think I might have a problem. My desk... Actually, there's some bang left in this one. My desk is just... We out here. You know what I'm saying? Gun might need to chug a bottle of water, normalize some of this caffeine in his bloodstream, so...
Shout out. Water.
Yeah, I was setting some stuff. I think I was looking at ways to grow the channel, and they had like dono incentives, and one was like $20 chug a beer. And I was like, I can't do a beer, but I can do water. But I can also do that for likes too. So maybe I should be chugging water here, right? What up, Butthole Jenkins, who's the best player in the slate? Whew, it's a big slate, and there's a lot of ins and outs. I think right now pre-flop, I don't have a freaking clue. Water, appreciate it, thank you. Nanny brought me a water. Was that a just in case? I don't want him to have 600 milligrams of caffeine. Yeah, don't want it. We don't want to turn him into the machine. Don't do it. The bank should sponsor me, man. They sponsor people that look a little different than me. I'll say that. But I'm out there for the taking. Denver Nuggets at the Portland Trailblazers. So, Raj, here's a little bit of a scheduling note. First 2 games within 30 minutes of each other. Then we're chilling for 2.5 hours waiting on the West Coast. There's nothing in between. So you guys, little life hack for you men out there. If y'all got to do some Thanksgiving shopping, aim for this hour right here.
Spend some time with the lady so you don't get in
Tomorrow's
trouble.
chaos, right? Tomorrow's chaos. Do not give in tomorrow. It's gonna be all hands on deck. But if you guys go get that last minute shopping, and you don't want to wait till tomorrow anyway. Shelves are gonna be cleared. It's gonna be wild. So at 7:30, or once you know that this game's locked, run to your ShopRite, your HEBs, your wherever you gotta go. Be back in time for an hour and a half, and then it's the night games, and then boom, you're good to go. So, big time gap there. As a matter of fact, I think during that gap, I'll be recording the preview podcast for tomorrow, which will be available on the Awesemo channel. So check that out. Denver Nuggets at the Portland Trailblazers. Project starting five for the Nuggets: Monte Morris, Will Barton, Aaron Gordon, Jeff Green, and Nikola Jokic taking on Damian Lillard, CJ McCollum, Norman Powell, Robert Covington, and Yusuf Nurkic. 214.5 is our total, 6.5 point spread in favor of the Portland Trailblazers. Jokic is the big piece of news. He's missed a pair of games so far, and in both of those games, I just kind of he's the MVP. He's a gangster. He's gonna play, and he missed both of them. Is he getting closer to in than out? We'll see. I'm gonna get caught up on the latest blurb from NBC Sports Edge on him, but he's one of those odd questionables because in the how do we say this, in the world of late swap, there's not a lot of pivots. There's no pivots, really. You wait 2 hours for the last two games. Jokic is the most expensive guy on the center position. I guess you could put him in the util and maybe hope that you have Luka news and then swap to Luka. If they're both out, you make sure you save $300. If they're both out, your lineup probably changes. It's probably going to be a 2v2 at worst or at best. So yeah, but obviously if Jokic plays, he offers the potential to be the highest scoring player on the entire slate. So something to be cognitive of. He's dealing with a right wrist sprain. He has missed the past two games. Michael Malone said he's gone with a different starter in each, with both Austin Rivers and JaMychal Green getting spot starts. If Jokic is out again tomorrow night, it might make sense to go with the bigger JaMychal Green versus Yusuf Nurkic. So it might be something to think about as a streamer. All right, so that's like season-long advice from NBC Sports Edge. So something to think about there. If Jokic is out, what we have seen in his absence is Will Barton and Aaron Gordon and a little bit of Monte Morris success. And then on that last slate, it wasn't the worst thing in the world to have one of the greens. We do have Portland as a decent favorite here, 6.5. I guess you guys can wrestle with what that line would be in your sports book if you believed wholeheartedly that Jokic was in. It's not like the Nuggets have been world shakers anyway. But if Jokic is in, that would really take the top off of $7,400 Will Barton to an extent, and definitely take the top off of $6,700 Aaron Gordon. Really feels like all of Gordon's good games so far have been in the absence of Jokic. So got to meditate on that. Raj, there's really no which way we can spin it without trying to play both sides of this fence. So I guess focus on the Blazers. I think we all know what we do with the Nuggets based on news. What are you thinking about the Blazers?
I think a guy like Nurkic is a real question mark of the slate. I mean, in this spot, if Jokic plays, does he finally have to play, 30, 35 minutes? Like, he's only playing 23, 18, 21 minutes in these games. It's so weird. I don't know why. But against Jokic, I could see him having...
The reason why is Larry Nance.
I mean, really?
Yes,
I guess that's the reason why. Yeah, he's getting 22, 25 minutes. But maybe if it's Jokic, like Nurkic and Jokic have always had a bit of a back and forth. Does he actually see 30 minutes? And if Jokic sits, he should dominate here. There's been games where he got 40 plus in 22 minutes. So Nurkic is very interesting on the slate. I think he's a guy you don't want to fade. How much you play of him is intriguing. A guy like Damian Lillard, I think, gets lost in the shuffle here a little bit. He's been doing fine at that price. Past few games, 46, 41, 47, 47, 56. 9,600, you definitely want that 50, 55. Hasn't kind of flashed that 60, 70-point games that he's done in past seasons as much this season, so I think that's why people are a little light on him. I probably don't get... With all the studs, if you're going to rank the studs, definitely like Westbrook over him. Do I like Paul George over? Probably like Paul George over him. I like Julius Randle over him. Jimmy Butler 1v1, I'll take. If Bam sits, I'll take Jimmy Butler over Lillard. So I think Lillard definitely gets lost here, but there's a world where he can outscore those guys maybe 10, 20% of the time.
Yeah, Lillard is starting to turn it
Yeah,
back up. So
he is. He's been efficient. I also think, just because this Portland team is fully healthy. Like, they have no question marks, nobody out, right? So that probably holds his ownership down a little bit. CJ McCollum, too, a guy that he's getting it done, 7,800. He gets it done occasionally for you. Mid 35s is probably the medium outcome, but definitely has that 40, 50 point upside. Denver side, Jokic plays. He probably be my highest on stud.
So exactly, but one, at worst we won't have that information by lock. So we are crunched for time. So I don't want to play the if this and that, folks. If Jokic is in, we knew for sure we're playing Jokic. I think the best way to approach this, Raj, is just be on your toes. Like I said, from a late swap potential. Make sure if you're scripting, probably make sure it should happen anyway, unless you have to have only one center. Probably set a rule that Jokic is only in the util spot, or make sure you're only putting Jokic in the util spot. That way you have some versatility, because center is not that deep and it's definitely not that expensive. So that would be my advice.
Paul George, if you keep him in the util.
Yeah, and potentially Luka. Save a couple $100, go get Luka. So it is what it is. Let's get to that last game. Before we do that, chat, pause for the cause. Go check out rundfs.com. Get signed up. Jump into that rundfs.com VIP Discord. I'll be in the voice chat up until lock, hanging out, making some lineups. It seems like it's gonna be a whole lot of nothing, because a lot of this news is going to be from the late games. So it's gonna be a little bit more laid back, Cadillac Jack. But also go check out PrizePicks. Use promo code Gundacker when you sign up. They'll show me some love if you do that. If you do that, they'll match your first deposit up to $100. And today they do the Taco Tuesday promotion, where every hour or so, there's a player with a big discount on his projection, essentially giving you a free square to bet and start making those cards. And it's a great way to simplify your daily DFS process. And I think it's a great way to add to your daily DFS spend and better reward the research you're already doing. And then, hey, if you got to do that shopping tonight and you don't think you can manage a bunch of lineups with late news and the big gap, maybe PrizePicks is the solution for tonight. Just go out there, bet a couple props, have some on your phone to sweat while your wife is like, hey, you want these yams? And you're like, yeah, I want those yams. Oh, those, it's different. So, yeah, go check them out. And then we do a lot of prop hunting in the Discord. And usually the first hour of the voice chat's a lot of prop hunting between my projections. We have the player props tab in the rundfs.com NBA VIP spreadsheet. You can use that as a companion tool to the projections offered by PrizePicks. And then if you like my projections more, a lot of times you'll find a little decent gap there. Main event tonight, Dallas Mavericks at the LA Clippers. Project starting five for the Mavs: Luka Doncic, Tim Hardaway Jr., Dorian Finney-Smith, Kristaps Porzingis, and Dwight Powell taking on Reggie Jackson, Eric Bledsoe, Paul George, Marcus Morris, and Ivica Zubac. Serge Ibaka back in the mix, no longer in the G League. Marcus Morris looks like he could play here, so I put him in the projected starting lineup. But be advised that could change. We'll see. Clippers, Morris is probable. Yeah, he's probable. So I put him in a starting lineup just because Batum still has a Q tag on him. And I think Batum is out. So they have been starting Amir Coffey. Maybe that happens again here. Something to be thoughtful of. But the matchup wise itself, it's two okay pace, or one okay pace team, one slow pace team, the Mavs, and two teams with a bunch of concentrated usage and some decent predictive value in minutes. On the Mavs, we know if Luka's in, he's listed as the probable starter on the game sheet. So that was submitted, so there's that. But there's still at least a lingering Q tag on him and a chance he doesn't play. Hopefully one of Luka or Jokic plays, and the same advice with Jokic. If you're going to play Luka, if you can manage it, probably put him in a util spot unless you absolutely don't like guard or something like that. That way you can swap out if he gets rolled out later in the night. And hopefully at least one of Luka and Jokic play. And then, of course, if you guys are the sickos that have Doncic and and Jokic, then hopefully you make it out and they both play. Kristaps Porzingis, 8,800 on FanDuel, 8,500 on DK. He's been just fine with Luka in and with Luka out. I do think 40 plus fantasy points on this slate is a good starting point. 4-game slate, give me that floor. I think he gives you a solid floor. Everyone else in the Mavs, should Doncic be in, becomes a little bit more volatile. Jalen Brunson's kind of got that Tyler Hero price point now where maybe it's a little inflated because of the slack he picked up with Doncic out. And it's also kind of a fail safe. Whereas if Luka's out right now, he's not a lock at 7,300. Makes you think about it. I still think he's playable. But his price point is something to avoid if Luka's in, I think. And then on the Clippers side, Reggie Jackson, Eric Bledsoe, Paul George were 3 names that stick out. Zubac, we talk about being a little bit skeptical of the Yusuf Nurkic minutes. Zubac with Ibaka back in the mix, with Hartenstein being what he has been. It could be a triangle here where I think Zubac could still get 20 minutes or so, but he probably rarely gets to the 30 plus unless they start rolling out some Ibaka at the force, the hypo lineups, which is not impossible against Porzingis. But if they didn't do that and they kind of stayed small and they had coffee out there, it could be just a cannibalism of centers trying to get minutes here. So, Rods, your favorite plays from this game before we get out of here?
I think Paul George against Dallas again with this team with still all these injuries for the Clippers, everyone out. I think Paul George is a guy you can look forward to. Reggie Jackson's always an intriguing tournament option, 6,100. Price did come down a bit, so I like him playing 30 plus minutes in almost every game against this Dallas team. I'll take that all day, every day. If Luka Porzingis, I think it's playable even if Luka plays. He's been on a tear lately. So at 8,500,
so
he is priced up.
Just to, like, I'm looking at chat and I'm looking at in the Discord, and Creasy posted this. I don't know what the timestamp is, but it says Luka Doncic's own injury update hours before Mavericks Clippers tip off on Tuesday night was not a major revelation, blah, blah, blah. In a rare post-shooting around interview with reporters, Doncic said he's still questionable to play the final game of the Mavericks road trip Tuesday. But it says that in a 5-on-5 scrimmage at the end of the workout, Doncic left the court abruptly and shouted as he sat down on the bleachers. Doncic said Tuesday that he had banged knees with a teammate during the pickup game. So that was today. Doncic left practice then with ice wrapped with a bandage around his left knee, but said Tuesday morning at Staples Center that the collision didn't add to the pain he's still treating. So
that happened Monday, then the collision.
It says Tuesday. It says that he said on Tuesday. Okay, so it happened Monday and he said it on Tuesday. All right, so yeah, man, a little extra scare for you. All right, yeah, I'm not gonna be overly. I'm not gonna assume stuff, but I did at least want to put that out there because I see chat freaking out about it. So it seems like it's a coin flip, but continue.
I guess he did say it's a lot of pain too. So even if he does play, I probably don't get that in Luka. His quote is, he said there's still a lot of pain, but he will do everything to try to play. So, I mean, either way, I'm probably just not going to play Luka, knowing that he's not going to be 100%. Porzingis, I think, is interesting, but with Luka back definitely takes Brunson out of the equation. That's $7,300. That's a tough price for him to smash at. But Porzingis on Dallas, the only guy I'd probably get to. And like I mentioned, Reggie Jackson, Bledsoe for the Clippers. I guess Zubac, if he plays the minutes, 27, 28, 27 minutes past couple games, he can get you 30 DKP, which will take at 5,100.
Yeah. Just stock. It says, what exactly is the definition of raw points? So usually the context of the terminology raw points is to depict that a player is basically points, right? But let's say we're talking about Luka and then we're talking about playing a guy that's $1,000 cheaper. It was like, this guy projects to be 6x value, but his 6x is still less than the raw points you're getting from Luka, even if Luka's 4.5, 5x value. So that's where you throw the value out the window and you just go out there and soak up the raw points. So that's kind of where it is. It's also kind of used in like on this slate where I want more raw points than anything. The projected floor and the projected median outcome is usually something I'm a little bit more. I'm waiting a little bit higher than a slate like last night and a slate like tomorrow where I'll be chasing ceiling. Chat, I got to get you guys out of here. Rods, I got to get you out of here. So I'll see you in the Discord in a little bit. And then, yeah. But yeah, chat, tomorrow is a pretty big slate. So we will do our best to be formal, cordial, on time. My boy Chronic hit me up today, say, yo, Gun, I got about an 85% chance of being there tomorrow. And I'm like, lit, because tomorrow is going to be big. So if you guys want to chop up the final slate before Thanksgiving, tomorrow at 3 p.m. Eastern, 2 p.m. Central, we'll be doing it. Speed running through the chat here. A lot of you guys are debating the Luka status. That's very, very up in the air. I definitely don't think it's like it's a lock that he's out yet, but it's definitely not a lock that he's in. So we'll be definitely playing with that throughout the day, throughout the duration of the night. Good night for late swap. What's up, Valdo? Luka could really be out based on manganese. Yep. What's up, Leighton? Nate Wagner. Guys, just do me one favor before you get out of here. Hit that thumbs up, man. As always, you guys know I appreciate you making part of my day, be part of your day. We'll do it again tomorrow. Look for the Slate Starter podcast on Osmo's YouTube channel in the morning. Myself and EMAC will get a light look at tomorrow's slate. It's going to be a big one. And then you guys can worry about some dinner. Twitter.com/Gundecker. If you got anything else for me, I love you guys. As always, good luck. God bless. And go win some money.